In this video, I'll demonstrate how to use the report template and page view functionality of MyAssays desktop to optimize your report for export and printing in a page-based format. This video is part of a series, so if you've not already, I would recommend viewing the previous 3 videos in this module: Introduction to Reporting, Report Elements, and Sheet View. I have opened the same protocol we've been using in the other videos in this series, and I've already calculated my data. You can see on my report, all of my report elements have been organized into separate sheets, but when I click on the page view, I can see the report is very long and the contents often spill across pages. So while the report looks great in the sheet view, I need an easy way to organize it in a page format. I can do that by creating a report template. So under the Report tab, in the Template section, I can click New and a Word document will open. Once the Word document opens, you'll see a comment here directing you to another instructional video. You can right-click that comment to delete it. Over here on the left, you can see the different report elements surrounded by curly brackets. If we go back to the Properties, Report tab, we can see the list of report elements, and if we select one, we can see the ID in the Settings pane that corresponds to the element in the report template. By using Word for the report template, MyAssays desktop offers you the flexibility to use all the functionality of Word to format your report and add content as necessary. You can add headers and footers, tables and signature lines, as well as include your company's logo if desired. To start, I don't want to include all of these elements in my printed report, so I'll simply delete the items I don't want to appear. I want to include my Sample Table 1 element, the Curve Fit chart, my Evaluations and Validations table, text, and notes. So I'll just delete all of the other items. Before we go any further, let's go ahead and save these changes and recalculate the data. Now on our page view, we can see only the information that we included in the report template. Keep in mind that if we switch back to the sheet view, all of the information is still included on the separate sheets, so the changes that we're making to the report template only affect the page view. I'd like to make some additional changes, so I'll go back to my report template. And first, I'd like to change my font to something other than Times New Roman, so I'll highlight all of my report elements and change the font. Next, I'd like to move my text into a header. So I can cut and paste that as a header and decrease the font size. Next, I can use the table function in Word to house my standard curve fit and evaluations and validations table. I'd like those all to appear above the sample table, so I'll just reorder those elements. Click Insert, add a table, and move these elements where I'd like to see them. I also don't want to see these borders on my report, so I'll click the Table Design and choose No Borders. We can also split the sample table into columns by using the Column feature in Word. It's helpful to use this paragraph setting to visualize the changes we're making when we're adding the columns. I'd also like to decrease the font size on my sample table. Next, I'd like to include my notes element in a separate table where I will leave the borders visible this time. So in your report element, you can also include static information that you can type or paste in, and it will always appear on the report alongside the report elements. For example, in the left-hand side of this table, I'll type notes and include the Notes 1 element in the right-hand side of the table. I'll also include a title, my custom protocol, and increase the font size. Finally, I'd like to use the Signatures functionality of Word to include a signature line for the Lab Manager. So I'll click Insert, choose Signatures, and enter the signer Lab Manager. I'll save the changes and recalculate. So now you can see that we're getting closer to getting all of our report elements on a single page, but I still need to make a couple more changes. For example, this chart is quite large, so I'd like to reduce the size of the chart, and we also have some information on the sample table that I don't necessarily need to see. For example, I don't really want to see the icons, and I don't need to see the positions. So to make those changes, we'll go back to our Properties tab. Under Report, I can click on Sample Table 1, exclude Positions and Icons, and if we click on the Transform Content Standard Curve Fit one, we can change the chart size to medium. Let's recalculate. Now with those final changes, you can see our report now fits neatly on a single page. If we zoom in to page width, you can see my text in the header, the title, our curve fit chart, our evaluations and validations tables, the sample table, our notes, and a signature line. If you have any questions about how to format your report using the page view and report template functionality of MyAssays desktop, please email us at support@myassays.com.